Hello everybody, welcome back to 7 Days to Die. We are in Labz and I'm trying to find my frame because my webcam decided it wanted to stop working today. Don't know why. So we're just going to move along with what we got and do what we can. I decided to put together the test for all of the tools to do with taking apart things. And of course there is the wrench, the ratchet, and the impact. And somebody told me in the comment section I spelt ratchet wrong. No, I didn't. I was doing the test for all of these individual items, and I set out a larger test area than I did last time because there were more scenarios that I wanted to test and more things I wanted to figure out. And mainly I figured out the Fun Pimps have got a little bit to answer for whenever it comes to the tools. I'm just going to say, I don't think anybody's ever actually set up a test like this to confront the Fun Pimps and say, this is BS, just so you know. It is complete and utter BS, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, first things first, let me sink down here. This one is where this particular line is where I did all of the stamina stuff. This particular line, just like over there, I did the left and the right sides, and what I found out about the stamina usage is on the right click you use about half the amount of clicks, but you're using about double the amount of stamina. So you're getting it done faster at the cost of your stamina. So if you need to run from something, probably not a good idea to use the right click and beat something half to death because you're going to be using about the same amount of stamina as if you stood there. So if you're in a rush but you don't mind losing the stamina, then maybe right click it. But other than that, it's really not showing any differences there. And then I tried it, I've used a level 1 on all of this stuff. And then I went back and used a level 6 to see whether or not the stamina usage, the clicks, any of that stuff changed. And the clicks changed, the stamina does not. The clicks changed, the stamina does not. And the clicks changed, but the stamina does not. The stamina usage, according to this, did not change until after I put mods in it. Even after I took the perks, it did not change my stamina usage, according to the game. I don't know why, it just didn't. At least the numbers, the values that they give you here, didn't change. The stamina cost of 17, that's because I've put these things in here. The stamina cost, according to the item, didn't change. Now, my character's got the perk, and I tried it. I tried it with the perk, and it was approximately 18, 19, somewhere around there. So the perk does not help you at all with the stamina, and I could have swore the perk said something about the stamina. Oh, I've already taken the perk back off of there. Never mind. 20% faster, gain 20% more resources, 20% more damage, 40% more okay, 60%. Alright, well, I've already taken it off of there. So, what I need to do, in order to make sure that this is correct, because I thought I still had it on there when I was going back to do that. Okay. Now it says that, still says 18 here. Oh, hang on. That's not what I meant to do. It's still using the same amount of stamina. It's still using the same amount of stamina. It doesn't change it. And if I'm supposed to be able to break them down faster, so... Okay, this one would have been 24 clicks without the thing. Actually, I did this already. I did the perk here using the level 1, and it was 24 clicks the first time, 24 clicks this time. This one, 19 clicks. 19 clicks. Make sure I'm in the right line. With the perk, 15 clicks. 15 clicks. So, me taking the perk did not change how fast I was breaking this thing down at all. I'm assuming that's a bug. Because the perks are supposed to allow you to break them down faster, it's also supposed to give you more stuff. And from what I noticed, it really didn't. It really didn't give me more stuff using the perks. I don't know if this is an oversight somehow or another in the game. I don't know whether or not a scale of this magnitude has been done for these tools, but from what I can tell, and I will just kind of go along there. This row is for the wrenches, and it does 18 stamina. It does 24 clicks with the left click, 12 clicks for the right click, and with the level 6 it does 16 clicks. So this level 16, I mean the level 6 thing is a little bit better. And with the perk I did 24. So I used a level 1 because I wanted to baseline it. This is a level 1, so it went right back to the original way. And level 1 with the candy is still 24. Perk and candy, it was still 24. Now, this is the full Monty. I did a level 6 with mods and the candy and the perk, and I finally did 11. 11 clicks on a level 6, fully modded. That's how long it took for me to take down the car. Now, over here, we did the ratchet, and it is 19 clicks. It is 10 clicks on the left click, 13 clicks on the right click, 19 with the perk, which is the same as before, and 19 with the candy, which is the same as before. And then with both of them, still 19, and with a level 6 fully modded out perk and candy, it took me 9. Not bad, but that's a whole lot of stuff to put into that. Okay, and then for the impact wrench, we had 24 stamina cost. So it took me 15 left clicks, 8 right clicks, 11, let me make sure I'm saying my info right. A level 6, it took me 11 clicks, and then with the perk, it went right back up. We got 15 and 15, so it went right back to the way it was. And then, of course, with the candy doesn't actually change how quickly you can harvest it. The candy does, hold on, first one with the candy has the candy stashed in it. It does a 20% harvest, and it lasts for 10 minutes, and it gives you 5 food. I just wanted to see what the difference was, but anyway, the left clicks, and then this is the perk and the candy. With the perk and the candy, I was still having to do 15 clicks in order to break it all the way down. Now, with a level 6 fully modded all perk and candy, it took me 8. And then I was wondering whether or not any of this stuff makes any difference for the amount of stuff you're actually going to get. No, we're not doing Horde Night tonight. I wanted to make sure whether or not it was worth having the extra perk points in there, worth getting all of that stuff put into it. And what I found out is it varies way too much. Okay, you can stop the Horde Night thing. Stop it. We're not doing... Can I help you? I didn't think so. Okay. What I found out is it varies way too much. I've got each one of these vehicles broken down into their respective storage containers, and seeing as how I was looking at them and not really seeing a huge difference, except for the occasional time something like this would appear. And this seemed like an outlier in the amount of stuff that we were getting in here. So I actually put it over here that the only real outlier, my final conclusion about the amount, is despite the tool perk, the only real outlier is whether or not you get an engine or a battery. And the cost kind of really doesn't change other than that. The only perk that I didn't take, or the only thing that I didn't do that might change this, particularly in value, because acid is worth a whole lot, and there is a book, which I put over here because it was a thought I had afterwards, is this one allows you to get more acid from cars, medical equipment, and acid barrels. So there is a chance that after I took this perk, that I might have gotten a little bit extra stuff in there because it would have been an additional item, an additional acid, and acid is worth a pretty good penny. I mean, it's not huge, but it might have added to the total amount. I would be interested in finding out whether or not the acid actually detracted from the amount of other stuff that you would get in the vehicle. New test later on. I didn't think about it until I already set this up, and it already took me 2 hours to do this, and then a lot longer to do the math because I worked today, so my brain's not working. Okay, and we're just going to go over the values. They're not really going to make a whole heck of a lot of sense this way. I think I would need a spreadsheet to put it out there to even collate this data in anything that would be useful if anybody happens to have that kind of mentality where you really want to put this stuff out there and see what kind of percentage we're looking at. That would be awesome. But I really can't be asked to do it. This already took me too long to do. And okay, for the wrench, Left and right clicks, the amount, let's see, I'm going to go with base amount because like I said, the batteries and the engines were like just a random drop. Didn't matter my perk, didn't matter the candy, it was just completely random on whether or not it dropped. It didn't even matter what type of wrench I was using. So it was kind of an outlier. It's, as far as I can tell, completely random. It's not governed by the wrench you're using, by the perk that you have, or anything like that. I think if I was to probably put enough of these vehicles out and break them and see some sort of pattern, I might be able to tell you how often you'll get an engine and how often you'll get a battery. Now, the quality of the engine might have to do with your level. That one I don't know. That's probably something that could probably be figured out, but I really can't invest 60 hours in that. I can't do it. My brain won't let me. Alright, so between the left and the right clicks, it was $134 worth in here and $194, and by that I mean I looked at all of these, brought out my calculator, and added them all up. There's no sell price on here, but I figured out 10 of these is 2, so 5, that's 1. And I added them all up. That's how I got the values for each one of these chests. Now here with the level 6, I actually pulled a lot less in this particular storage chest. Random. Okay, in this one, I've got the perk, and it gave me 194, but this one gave me 194. This was with the level 1 wrench. Now, I'm not counting the random drop of the battery being in here, because this, to me, that's a random thing. So I'm not counting that. At 194, and my level 6 gave me the same amount. Now, if I took the candy, I mean, not with the level 6, but with the full perks, it gave me the same amount. Now, with the candy, this is without the perk, just the candy, it gave me 195. Weird how that number keeps coming up. And then, with the perk and the candy, I managed to finally do something. It's 224 without the engine that appeared. The engines are all worth 200. It would have been 424 with the engine. So, with all of this, all of the perks, a level 1 wrench, and the candy, which is $100 a piece. So you might as well knock off 100 off of this, off of your profit, because you didn't actually make that. You spent it on the candy. So this is technically giving me 124 out of this. Not really worth it. And in this one, this is the full Monty. We got a level 6, we've got mods, we've got the candy, we've got the perk, and without the battery, which is a nice battery, it's a level 6. But like I said, these are an outlier. They don't always drop. As you can see by looking back through there, it was $96 inside this container. This stuff that I pulled from here, the only thing that I got was worth anything was the battery itself. So if I hadn't have gotten the drop of the battery, with a level 6, with mods, with the candy, with all of the perks, I would have only pulled $96 out of this. And that's saying something because they wouldn't have even bought the 5 cloth, which is worth 1. Okay, moving on. This is getting down the rabbit hole, guys. This is really not the funnest way of looking at this game, but it was something that I found very, very interesting. Okay, now we are at the ratchet. This is left and right, and I pulled 140 without the battery. The battery in here is a level 5, so pretty interesting. It's a level 1 ratchet, and I pulled out a battery, which is the reason why I say this is very random, but it's 140 without the battery. On the right, 107 without the battery. This one pulled a battery out both times, which I thought was weird. Now, I can't say whenever you use a ratchet, you're always going to get something special because I got it on the first 3, but then I got down here and I wasn't pulling them anymore. Can't really science that. Like I said, very random. I couldn't see a pattern in here. Maybe there is one if you put it out on a spreadsheet, a graph, or something like that. Couldn't find one. Okay, then, now these is with the level 6 wrench. Now, I pulled 112 out of here without the engine, which is worth 200. And that's a little bit less than just a basic level 1 gave me. A little bit more than a basic level 1 with a right click. So, that's a level 6. Those things are hard to come by. Then I pulled 212 out of this one, which was just the perk. That's all I had on it, was just the perk. 212. Not bad. Now, the stamina usage bothers me. And it's 212. It's a little bit better. Not as much as you would think, but at the same time, this is 212. No battery. No engine. So this is just what was actually in the car itself. No outlier, just the engine. Now this one is the candy. This is a level 1 with the candy, and I pulled out 146, which is, I don't know, kind of just on par. The candy really didn't help at all with that. Not really. Okay, and then we've got the level 1 with the perk and the candy, and we pulled 148. So very, very close here, but this one also had an engine. So there's my outlier on that one. But when you take into account the fact that I used the candy, take $100 off of that price. So technically you would only have, if you were looking for a profit, 248, because you would get that extra 100. You take 100 out of that. Kind of worth it in this one. Alright, and this is the full Monty. This is a level 6 fully modded perk and candy. I managed to pull 212 out of here without the battery. Now, the battery is a good battery. It's worth a lot of money. 496. But 212. 212. That's with just the perk. Do you see my problem? Here, I invested a lot of levels into getting the whole perk. Okay, that's a pretty big sacrifice. Here, I sacrificed all of my levels, got a level 6 wrench, put all of the mods in it, and bought candy and pulled out the same amount, base value. Now, it threw in a battery for me. Awesome. You know you only use so many batteries in a playthrough. Now, yeah, you can sell it. You can break it down for lead. Wouldn't do that on a level 4, but you could. So, hi Piggy, how you doing? Please don't explode the cars. That's not how I want to spend this time. Okay, back over here to the impact. We got a 93 in this one and 154. That is a huge value difference on here. This one I barely pulled anything out of it. This one, I think the headlamp, or the headlight rather, is actually a pretty expensive item, so when it drops, it's a pretty good day. Alright, and then we have the level 6. And I pulled 159 without the battery. 159. So, about the same as this one. Okay, and the level battery got is a level 4. Not bad, not bad. I mean, this is a pretty good amount of money to pull out of a vehicle. Just for having the level 6 wrench. Now we're going to go back here and check what we got for the perk. And this one was 155 without the engine. There's my engine. Alright. This one was just the perk. Put a lot of points into it, but I didn't spend the candy on it. 155. So, I mean, not bad. Not bad. And then we got 167. This is the test with the candy by itself and a level 1 wrench, which pulled out 167. Level 1 wrench, no perk. Just the candy, 167. The perk, lots of levels. Do you see the value issues? Now, I didn't get an outlier here. I didn't get an engine, and I didn't get a battery in this one. It makes me wonder what this value would have been if I had pulled one in this. No clue. So, let's take a look at the next one, which is the perk and the candy. So, we got 203 base value, and only 243 with the battery. It is a pretty crappy battery in that one, but it was a battery drop. That's perks and candy. That's not really good, guys. It's really not good. Okay, so now we've got the full Monty. We've got the perk points, we've got the candy, we've got the level 6 wrench, and we've got all of the mods in there. And we pulled 145 without the engine. I got an engine. The rest of this is 145. This particular line seemed to not really vary much at all. As in, somehow or another, even though Even though it's considered a tool, it did not seem like my stuff was affecting it very much. The perks really didn't seem to take on this particular item, like somehow or another the increase in perk value really didn't do a whole lot for this particular item. The impact wrench is supposed to be the final tier, kind of like having the nail gun is the final tier of being able to make repairs. But I'm not seeing, like, none of this looks good. I mean, the value is back here, 708 with the battery, and 896 with the battery. These prices are a whole heck of a lot better than this price. I mean, by a lot. By a whole lot. The impact wrench is broken. In my opinion, it works more or less like a level 1 wrench. And it doesn't vary all that much at all. In my opinion, all of these values need to be re-evaluated because they don't seem to be really working. There's not a way of gauging, okay, I want to take this perk, how much is it going to affect my character? Should I drop this level 6? And to be honest with you, I sit here and looked through the values for these things. If you'll... Okay, hold on. Let me take these two items. Okay, I got 24 and 18. 16 and 18. $24 and 12. Then we've got the... Where's the level 6 by itself? 16. But it only gave me 81. $13, 19, 11, 15. These are not values you would, you know, really think of as being, oh, hey, yeah, I definitely, oh, yeah, that's something I found. Like you would maybe one of the weapons. Like, I don't know, whenever you find shotguns and you find a level 1 and then you find a level 6, the damage stuff on it is vastly different. The stamina usage is vastly different. The reload speed, vastly different. The, all of it is vastly different. Not to mention there's a lot more variety between one level and another level 1. Say I got 2 level 1s, but the values would be different. Now, I don't know if this happens to be because I'm using the creative menu. I'm pretty sure the values do fluctuate in the game. At least they do now between weapons. You can pick up one stone axe that's a level 2, and you might pick up another stone axe that's a level 2 that's a little bit better. In the creative menu, I don't think it allows you to do that, so I wasn't able to play around with that part of it. But as far as I'm concerned, by the time you move from the wrench to the ratchet, up to the impact, stamina should not be a problem. Hang on. Let us, really quickly, take a look at how this thing operates. Why am I using stamina to do this? Why is that a thing that I'm having to use? Hang on. What is the stamina usage for a nail gun? Weird. There isn't one. No stamina usage. Weird. Guys. Hang on. I just want to do... The movement is nearly the same. Your character is using about the same amount of effort to use that nail gun as it would that impact. Now, I've actually seen an impact wrench in person, and now they're not really easy. But 18 in comparison to 24. An impact should inevitably be easier to use than a wrench. Because if you're having to fight a wrench around a bolt, it is going to take all of your strength, prying it, leverage, the whole 9 yards, whereas the impact is actually doing most of the work for you. This is broken, and I would not have known that if I hadn't have done this test. Not to mention the impact doesn't seem to really be worth it. In my opinion, I would stick with the level 6 wrench or maybe even the ratchet. I wouldn't even worry about the impact at all. It does not seem worth it. It doesn't seem to be affected by your skills. It really doesn't seem to be affected by anything other than, I mean, even the levels really didn't seem to affect it that much. I think the impact is broken. And I get that some people may never have used an impact wrench. So they may not understand how this stamina makes no sense. This stamina cost makes no sense. If you are going to upgrade past all 3 of these levels and into this, you're expecting to spend less stamina and get a lot more stuff out of it. Guys, I don't know what else to say other than that. That was a whole lot of data that is going to be very dry to watch. But ultimately, if the only thing that you get out of this is the impact wrench isn't worth it. Don't even worry about buying it. Don't spend the money on it. I don't even know how much they're worth. What are they worth? That one's worth 4,000. That one's worth 103. I don't even think it's worth 103. If it used less stamina, I would say, yeah, definitely worth 103. Get it, because when you're out there breaking down cars, it's too easy to lose your stamina at lower levels. And if you have a chance to get an impact wrench, you can break down a car, get all the stuff you need to make your own vehicle, and that would be great. But no, it uses up more stamina and it makes no sense. So Fun Pimps, fix your game. I am very disappointed by this test. I am hugely disappointed by this test. I was ready to say that the impact wrench was freaking amazing because it was a brand new tool and they were giving it to us as a way of breaking things down and, you know, having a way of leveling up in that. Kind of like we go from the stone axe to the hammer to the nail gun, but we don't have that. It's not in the game yet. It hasn't been fixed yet. It's not a thing that the Fun Pimps actually figured out how to work properly, because this line right here to me is a huge lie. I am disappointed. I'm done pouting, guys. I spent a lot of time to find out that it really was not going to go the way that I thought. I had a hypothesis on how this was going to go, and my hypothesis was not correct at all. But I still learned something, and I hope you did too. Through all of this dry information, that maybe you gained a little bit of a sight on what you should and shouldn't drop in order to use the impact wrench just because it's new and shiny and pretty. Anyway, I will see you next time. You have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and you stay shiny.